Hey, Scorpio, Mel, intuitive coach here, excited to bring in your quarterly reading for October, November, and December. All right, Scorpio, let's open up your energy field and take a look at what the next few months have in store for you. You have the fates showing up at the bottom of the deck, number 17. Now, you could be born on the 17th, but also 17 in tarot is the star. The star comes after the tower. So some of you may have gone through a bit of an awakening or even a wake-up call in your life. And I see here that you have support and confidence that may be returning after a period of difficulty. Now, I'm also seeing here at the bottom of the deck, you have the Wheel of Fortune. This is change. Things are starting to shift here forward in quarter four. I feel like you are starting to see evidence here of the changes that you have been wanting because some of you have felt a bit stuck. I see the Hanged Man here, and sometimes that Hanged Man can be letting go. It can be perspectives changing here, and it can even be major awakenings, as I've mentioned. But sometimes there can be a bit of a delay or a bit of a hang up, and you may have been asking Spirit, help. Why is there a hang up? I really want things to move forward, and things don't always move forward in the timing that we want. But I do see here in quarter four, there's the change coming in that you have been preparing for, that you have been initiating. So in the month of October, we have here a leg up, number 34. Some of you may be 34 years old, or this number sequence could play out in your home number, your telephone number here, or your home address. But this is about support. This is about resources here. This is about leaning on family or friends, and it can even be incoming news that supports your dreams in some way. I feel like there is a dream here that you are moving into, or a goal that you're moving into, and you're able to fill in the pieces here, like put the pieces together instead of feeling like there's a missing part of the equation. Now, the clarifiers are the Hanged Man. This is that wake-up call. This is about you shifting perspectives here, and it could be someone else's, perspective or help or support or guidance that kind of changes the game here for you. And I see that it's up to you ultimately, right? It's your choice, but it feels like there's energies that are helping you out at this time. That's what you need to know. And I see that there's a release of doing things in a certain way or seeing things in a certain way, because you have the Page of Swords here, Scorpio. The Page of Swords is like the private investigator of tarot, always searching for answers, possibly using the World Wide Web, right? The internet and Google, and trying to find ways to find that missing piece. He can be the researcher here. So you could be researching things at this time. Now, because you have the eye showing up, some of you may have felt like you have been under some sort of scrutiny. Perhaps there was micromanagement happening here for you, or like you were under pressure in some way, or it could even be you scrutinizing your own self. We can become very hard on ourselves, and we can push ourselves to the point of, where we feel exhausted, or we feel like we can't go on any further. And I see that there is a new way of doing something, and you're figuring it out. The pages represent beginner's mindset. So it's like you're going back to simplifying something in your world, and you are finding solutions here through a message. There's a message coming in either through technology, through social media. This could be you landing a new job because you're like, I found this perfect opportunity, or this new employment that I want to apply for. I want to reach out. So there could be some interactions here between you and another opportunity, because I see someone here in your energy. You have the polar bear coming through, and it feels like you are climbing up here towards stability. If you look at this baby polar bear climbing up there on the mom is standing, stable in order for that baby to hop on. And it just feels like you are opening yourself up to maybe moving into more stability here. You may be feeling like your confidence is starting to grow a bit more after going through something that had knocked your confidence. Maybe this is some sort of rejection. Maybe you've applied for, 20 different jobs and you were rejected from all of them. Or perhaps this is relationships here. It could even be your own health is starting to, build momentum, where you're starting to feel better. You're starting to see improvements in your health. And the Eight of Wands is fast energy. It's the second fastest moving energy. So after a slower period, or after not seeing results with that Hanged Man, it's like, boom, something comes in here. This message comes in, this download, this answer, or this email, or this phone call. Something shows up here for you, and you're like, I got to go for this. Like, this is it. And you see on the Eight of Wands, she's doing a swan dive right there towards that key. And it's like you've had to go through the ring of fire. So maybe something has felt very intense. Some of you, this is going to be something you're very passionate about. And I see that there's alignment happening here, because the Eight of Wands is about realigning your energies. Some of you could be moving the body more. You could be traveling, relocating, or communicating your needs, or having a very important conversation or a meeting with someone. And I feel like this energy is going to uplift you. There is an uplifting energy taking place for you. Now, in the month of November, your birthday, your birthday season starts here in October, but it truly peaks in the month of November. And I see here, for those of you sun sign Scorpios out there, you are so very blessed, and you are welcoming in this support in quarter 4, because perhaps you feel like you haven't had that type of support before, or perhaps you haven't felt supported financially or emotionally or even physically. And it feels like this quarter is where everything starts to turn around for you. You're witnessing the blessings and the miracles that are occurring in your life. I feel like there are incoming energies that help you in some way, but also you are helping other people in some way. There is a beautiful exchange happening here, and you are also collaborating. I'm getting collaborative efforts. And yeah, that's why you have the Three of Cups. So there's collaboration happening with others that you will celebrate. Now, of course, if you are a sun sign Scorpio, you could be celebrating your birthday. Perhaps you're going out and having, dinner with the people that you love. I feel like you could even be celebrated by people that you work with. There could be some surprise elements to the mix here in the month of November. And you have here this death and rebirth. Now, some of you could be born on the 17th or the 16th, but I see here that you are undergoing this transformational time, and it comes beautifully here for your season. Now, even though there are some doors that are closing, it just feels like you are welcoming the new with open arms. You are saying, I am graciously accepting, this support, or you are helping another out. And I feel like it brings you a sense of fulfillment. Some of you are moving into an elevated version of yourself. This is like a higher consciousness that you're tapping into here. And I see that there has been resistance opening up this new door. But in the month of October, as we fully, as we initiate more into your season, that confidence starts to return as the spotlight shows up in your, your 12th house. I feel like you are also glowing from the inside out. There has been a lot that you've gone through. The Nine of Wands is also known as the wounded warrior. And sometimes when we go through such harsh circumstances or struggles, we tend to put up a wall. And you can see that there is a shadow here of this wall, but it feels like that wall or that guard is coming down here, and there's this renewed sense of determination. Like, wait a second, that's not failure. That was an important lesson that I was meant to learn in the past. And even if it didn't work out the way that I had thought or hoped that it would, maybe it was that relationship or that job, it feels like you are saying, I'm going to go for it again because I am powerful and I am, held up by spiritual strength as well. You're leaning into your higher power. You're leaning into that higher consciousness that I just mentioned. And you are asking for strength. You're asking for blessings here. I feel like you've been having a lot of heart to heart, Scorpio, with source, with God, with, the energies that be. I feel like you are working through some perhaps internal energies, because wands can be the spiritual force within us all. It's that fiery element. And I see that you may even be looking for guidance regarding maybe your career or your projects or your creativity here, but you're not giving up. You may have gone through a bit of a block, writer's block, or, creative block, or maybe you weren't feeling very inspired, but it feels like you are starting to tap back into that creative potential. Motivation is starting to return here. And even though November and December here in the Northern Hemisphere, we're moving into the winter months, and it can be a time of, introversion, and we go in. It feels like this time for you actually inspires you. You're still connecting with others here, but I feel like there's this renewed spark within you, and you may find yourself quite productive as well this month. You may have a lot of engagements, a lot of things that you are doing, but I feel like you're finding balance. You're not saying yes when you really mean no, and I feel like you're saying no when you really mean no. So this is about, completion here as well. Nines are completion, but they're also about, stepping into this new portal, this new timeline, quite literally for those of you that are, stepping into a new birthday, your age, you've matured, another year has gone by. And I see that you're saying to yourself, if you have put up some sort of barrier or some sort of wall that has limited you in some way, it feels like you are being guided to release, right? To release resistance here, because some sort of resistance may have caused that door to kind of stay shut. And then you're in between, trying to open up this new opportunity, but yet you feel called to stay stuck in the past energy in some way. And it feels like there's that constant back and forth, that constant struggle. But I feel like you are realigning here, and you're saying, wait a second, what do I need to close out of my life as I step into this new timeline? And that's what you're doing here, because the new timeline is about harmony. This new energy that you're stepping into, that you are fully embodying within yourself, is saying, I want to open doors that bring in harmony. I want to connect with individuals that uplift me. And even though you may face, and chances are you most likely will face, people who challenge you, jobs or careers that challenge you, things that show up in a challenging way, but it feels like you are seeing it through a different lens these days. It feels like your perspective on challenges has shifted, and instead of becoming maybe avoidant, because sometimes that Nine of Wands, when they've gone through a lot, they can become avoidant. They can use avoidant techniques or self-defense mechanisms to kind of not deal with something that needs to be dealt with. And I see that you're not doing that anymore. You're saying, what is this teaching me? How am I growing? How am I, what do I need to learn from this? It's like that mirror is being held up, and instead of pointing the fingers outward, I feel like you are looking at yourself, but through the eyes of compassion, through the eyes of understanding. And this is something that you are learning maybe through working with other people. Three of Cups is also our soul tribe, our spiritual tribe. So your guides, your angels, maybe some of you are connecting to, higher levels of consciousness, as I've mentioned, maybe star seeds. You could be working with your roots, your lineage. But I'm also getting here, this is the people around you that could be teachers, coaches, mentors, even your own children. We're constantly learning through these relational situations. And I do see here that this is a beautiful month of harmony, and you may be finding out that you are very much appreciated. Maybe you already know this, but it feels like there could be a surprise. I am getting like a surprise element where someone lets you know how they feel. They let you know how you have helped them. They are grateful that your presence and your energy and your soul is in their lives. I feel like there's a lot of gratitude coming in, and it is bringing in this level of harmony and friendship and celebrations. Now, some of you in the month of November, there will be an event such as your birthday, right? A social event, but also it could come up as like news of a new job. This could be like a reunion where you connect with people that you haven't connected with for quite some time. You may even be passing a test, or there could be a raise or some sort of new abundance that flows through like networking or connecting with others. So there could be a double whammy. It feels like there's a double whammy. Something great comes out of this networking opportunity, or, you're out celebrating your birthday, but then you're able to also celebrate the news of a win or a milestone with those that you love. So it feels very good. I feel like you're able to close the door here to the past and fully open up to the change that wants to show up in your world. So in the month of December, we have all that glitters. You are seeing through illusions. I feel like you're also taking off an old mask and retiring it. Okay, this is an old role, an old persona. We all wear masks, each and every one of us, because masks protect us. Masks can also show up as like a superpower that we wear. Think of Superman, right? Wearing the cape. And I see here that you are seeing through any illusions, all that glitters. You know that all that glitters isn't always gold. You know that you have to get to the gem, the hidden gem that is underneath, a situation here. This is also self-discovery. And I feel like you are, taking off one of those masks that you have worn. And again, it just feels like I'm retiring it. So maybe some of you are actually retiring, but it feels like you are becoming vulnerable. You're opening up here, and you are about to embark upon a new journey. And I feel like you're taking your honest self with you, and that's what you are attracting in return. You are attracting situations, relationships, and experiences that are deep, that have some sort of spiritual depth or emotional depth. It could even be something that you're quite passionate about. It feels like you are moving in that direction. Anything superficial is not going to work here for you. You have the Tower. You have the Seven of Swords, and you have the Ace of Cups. This is beautiful energy. This tells me that, there are shakeups that are happening here for you, and you're seeing through them. I feel like you're actually dodging a bullet in any sort of deception that's coming in. How interesting, because all that glitters, the mask of the Seven of Swords. Sometimes people wear masks because they don't want other people to see a certain side of them, because what if they see that side and they don't like them, right? Or we hide certain parts of ourselves. So whether this is a whole complete shakeup of your own belief system and you're saying, I'm going to take off this facade, I am going to show up 100% unapologetically myself, and this is where I'm at. This is what I stand for. I'm not going to hold back anymore. That could alter and shift your entire world, because your belief system is taking a bit of a turn here. You're changing something deep within you. And I feel like you are looking at your morals, you're looking at your, moral compass is coming in here. Someone around you may not have been honest, or perhaps you weren't able to see how someone's behavior has affected maybe a company. Maybe you've dealt with someone in the company that wasn't being honest. Maybe they were stealing. Maybe they were being sneaky. Maybe they were behind your back, but it feels like everything comes out in the open here. Maybe this is a family dynamic where secrets have been kept at bay, but what it had done is it caused everybody to walk on eggshells, or it caused everybody to be superficial and pretend things are okay when they weren't. So it feels like this December, something is crumbling here, but it's actually a very good tower. People get scared of the tower, but this is actually liberating you. And I feel like it's helping you kind of dodge those bullets here, and it's allowing you to see through the masks that you've worn, that other people have worn, and what it's leading you into is this Ace of Cups. This is extreme self-care, but it's also about a gift. It's a new gift here of love. This is about going with the flow here and not letting that tower cause resistance. If anything, the tower is coming in to break up that resistance. The tower is here to liberate you. It's like the dam. The dam comes through, and sometimes we need that water. We need that emotion to flow, because what happens when water becomes stagnant, right? It gets all grimy and all icky and ooey, and bacteria builds on it. And, it's a swampy puddle, and it doesn't smell good, and it just starts to fester. And that's what I'm getting here for some of you is, maybe a root of a situation wasn't addressed, and the Band-Aid kept being put over it, and it started to ooze out. And I see that, you're reaching in and pulling out the core of a situation, and now it's like the healing finally has taken place. And that's why that Death card is here, because there is an ending here of an old life, an old persona, an old identity even. Some of you have gone through maybe a situation with an individual who had tried to steal your ideas. Maybe there was some form of like identity theft, or you are finally seeing someone's true colors. And I see that, you are opening yourself up to this renewal. There's a renewal process here in Q4, and the fates are, pointing to the stars, and there is the tower coming in here. So this tells me that you will recover. There's recovery happening here. There's a brighter future ahead. This is about your dreams, your healing, your inspirations, and your wishes. And I see that with the Ace of Cups landing, right after the tower. I mean, this is something profound that comes through for you. This is allowing everything to move forward, so you can move into 2026 feeling more empowered, more inspired, and you feel like, wow, I'm finally feeling the flow. I don't feel the heaviness of the burdens that I've been carrying. And there's bits and pieces showing up for you throughout the months. Like I said, there is some sort of support coming in here for you. In the month of October, your confidence is starting to build. You're getting some nibbles is what I'm getting here. So maybe some of you are, putting yourself out there, and you're starting to see a little bit of, positive feedback, because your energy is encouraging, your energy is more confident, and you're seeing that confidence being reflected back into your world. But I see here by the end of the year, I mean, the Ace of Cups is beautiful. It is emotional fulfillment. It is curiosity and positivity. It is hope and self-love. It is finding emotional balance here after, after the shaking up of your internal navigational system. This is your moral compass here. This is about you standing in your truth, standing in integrity, and, other people being held responsible for their actions. This is accountability for others. And I see here with the Wheel of Fortune, things are changing, and it looks like this change is for the better, but I'm not going to sugarcoat it, right? There's still going to be some things that you're facing in the coming months, but for one, you're not alone. You have this profound support system. And I see that this support system, if you feel like it's not fully in place, you will start connecting and meeting individuals, and you will start to see the evidence of this support, financial support, emotional, physical, whatever type of support you are needing and requiring at this time. It is showing up for you. Number two, your confidence here in a situation, instead of plummeting, right, where maybe it has been, I definitely feel like you are unlocking. You see the Eight of Wands is so close to grabbing that key, and I feel like you will unlock. That's where that death and rebirth comes in. You have blessings that are showing up, that are evident in your world. You have the celebratory energy coming in this November. And yes, December can be a month of seeing through things. But I'm also getting here, for some of you, there may have been a loved one who has crossed over. And I know December with the holiday season, it can be a difficult time, especially if a loved one is no longer in your presence. But I see that there could be a gift that shows up from this individual, and you are going to know that it's them. You are going to recognize this energy, this smell, this song, or whatever it is that comes up for you. It feels like there is something very powerful, but you have, yes, this maybe loss or something you've gone through has shaken you to the core with the Tower. But I feel like this is a very, honest time where you're saying to yourself, instead of letting this loss or letting this door, hit me in the, what, I feel like you're taking it as, as a blessing in the best way that you possibly can. And you're allowing it to flow through you and say, all right, if that energy isn't connecting with me any longer, if it's not jiving, or if someone doesn't want to hold that door open for me, I'm not going to force it. I'm not going to try to shove back into that old life or that old relationship. It feels like if the door has been shut, you're no longer going to kind of stick your foot in wondering if there's something else, right? It feels like you are fully initiating here this new beginning. And I love that for you, especially coming into the new year. So let's take a look here, Scorpio, at some quotes that you are meant to hear at this time. And if you are interested in a personal reading or signing up for the monthly newsletter, you can find that information below. But if you would like to enter into the free reading giveaway, where I draw one winner around the first of the month and post right back here on the community tab, all you need to do, Scorpio, is drop your favorite quote, saying, affirmation, or words of wisdom. Maybe these are words that were spoken to you by a loved one. Maybe this is words that stuck with you that a stranger told you. Whatever has inspired you, drop the words in the comment section below. I'll enter you into the giveaway. And if you are drawing a blank and you're like, Mel, I can't think of anything, I am about to read 4 quotes for you, and if one stands out, drop it in the comment section below. I will still enter you into that giveaway. All right. First quote out here, Scorp. You don't have to be perfect to be amazing. Some of you are releasing your need for perfectionism. Perfectionism can be a fear of a failure. And I see here that, you're not waiting for the perfect time or the perfect relationship or the perfect whatever. You are embodying that energy now. You're saying, okay, I got this. I am going to start showing up as the version of myself that I wish to become. And that's exactly what you're doing this Scorpio season, quarter 4. Next you have, in case you have not been adequately informed, please consider this your official notification. You are awesome. You are awesome. Remember that. Remind yourself that every day, Scorpio. Next, we have Morgan Harper Nichols. Inhale, exhale. It is well. It is well. All of this is part of the story you will tell. We may have some storytellers in the house, meaning your past could inspire and help others. And you may share your story in some way. It could be professionally. It could be passionately for, a hobby of yours. It could be personally in your own world. Maybe you share your story with a loved one or with an individual that you trust, and it could help them in ways that you don't even realize. And lastly, you have believe in the magic within you, for even in the darkest moments, you possess the power to conjure your own light, to conjure your own light. Yes, you do. Through the darkness here, you will find that inner light. It's like the hermit energy. The hermit is always holding the lantern, and it's not the light in the lantern per se. It's the light that you have within yourself that is lighting up your path. And I see here that that's part of that 8 of Wands. Eights are about strength. Eights are about our power, our, inner authority here. Also about, control, what's within our control, what's external, and also the things that we try to control. Some of you may have struggled with that in some way. And I feel like you are letting go of something that has controlled you. And you're stepping into this fresh energy here with that Ace of Cups, but it may require a dismantling, right? A dismantling here of an old structure. An old structure that you may have at one point relied on. But I see here, Scorpio, that you possess the power to conjure up your own light. And that's what you are doing here. Yes, you're looking to the fates here. You are praying. You are, believing in miracles. You see the blessing showing up because Spirit is not leaving you out in the cold. You have the Tower and the stars coming in here. So there's a brighter future. So trust that if something is dismantling in your life here at this time or in quarter 4, it's paving the way for something beautiful to come in. Try not to resist this change. Try not to stick that foot in the door saying, but wait, I don't know if I want to fully shut that door or what's going to happen. And we tend to grasp on to the first thing that we can touch, right? It's like a free fall. But if you go with a fall, you have wings and you're going to realize that. It reminds me of skydiving. I love to go skydiving. I've been a couple times, and trusting that parachute is going to go up, right? We don't go into it. I mean, maybe some people do go into it fearing that parachute's not going to show up when it needs to. But enjoying the free fall, and it's that 60 to 90 second free fall that is the most exhilarating. And instead of allowing that fear to capsize you or to keep you, stuck, allow that exhilaration, that confidence to inspire you, and then enjoy the energies that are showing up, because I feel like you are protected. I am getting that parachute here for you. So it feels like you have the parachute, but your soul has wings. And I feel like you are meant to soar here, Scorpio. So that is what I have for you for quarter 4. Thank you so much for tuning in. Okay. Thank you, Spirit. Natalia is a name, I believe, that's coming through. Natalia. And I'm also getting here Schweinfurt. Schweinfurt, so Germany, I believe Schweinfurt is in Germany. Maybe some of you are German or you have like German descent, or maybe you're visiting an area over in Germany that's coming through. So again, thank you so much for tuning in, Scorpio. If you enjoyed today's reading, please give it a thumbs up. Again, drop your favorite quotes in the comment section below, and everything else that you need you can find in the description box or at intuitivesoulcoach.com. Lots of love.